We should now be live.
Sweet. So, how's this work? I just answer questions, or
Usually talk for a fair bit, and yeah, I have some questions that can be asked throughout the entire thing.
alrighty.
So I guess
That sounds like a plan.
one thing I think I should ask beforehand is, would you like to summarize for the people watching this what your content's mainly about?
Sure. So, of course, my content is prioritized around any form of prehistoric life, and mainly I try to incorporate media depictions into speaking about that prehistoric life to give a nice analog, uh, something for the audience to latch onto, to help them learn about what creatures we're talking about.
I think you've mainly done a lot
So,
of what would you call it? Stuff on the media interpretations.
yeah, that's definitely my most popular series. Just taking a look, like selecting one specific extinct animal and then looking at all of the different interpretations, essentially across various forms of movies, shows, and documentaries and video games. Very fun indeed.
Yeah, I think that was actually the first thing I saw from you. I'm not sure what it was exactly, but it was definitely one of those videos.
Yeah, I definitely don't doubt it. Those ones are definitely a lot of fun to make.
Friend of mine, his name's Gecko. I'll see if I can just send these quickly. He's been working on a video game that he's called The Time Forgotten. And I just sent him the live stream a few minutes ago, and he said, like, hang on, is that the guy who does all the stuff of different designs in media? To which I just said, yeah. And he wanted me...
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I think your mic cut out.
Oh. So... fun. Friend of mine, he's working on a video game called The Time Forgotten, and he wanted me to get your thoughts on Rex. So here's some photos or some images of Rex. I'll just send them through quickly if I can.
All right.
What the Gecko, why'd you have to send me stuff that exceeds 10 megabits in data? Not everything needs to be high quality, Gecko.
Hey, he's got high standards.
Oh, trust me, it's annoying playing Minecraft with him. Stick on like 18 more mods than what I need.
That is the only way to play, right there.
Yes. Just for the love of God, Gecko, can you send something that isn't like 20 megabytes? And I can't even forward the messages. Brilliant. We're off to an amazing start. I wonder, can I just share my screen on Discord so you can see the images?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks real nice.
You can see why it was like over 10 megabytes.
Yeah. Huh. Well, they are very accurate to our understanding of the animal.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I really like the way that they portrayed the lacrimal horns. I think that that's like a really interesting way of doing it.
Yeah, it definitely looks
Wow.
very nice.
I really like that. Those are really cool.
I remember the Vividen as... Right, because we ended up showing this off to the Vividen as well, because when I interviewed him, Gecko was just like, I need you to get his thoughts on Rex. And I remember that Vividan also fell in love with him as well.
No, those are like really nice, really high quality. I definitely understand why that took a minute.
Okay, so that's going to become a running joke throughout this live stream now. And now Lizat's messaging me. Incredible. The unholy trinity has joined in on this live stream. Me, Lizat, and Gecko. Anyway.
In a holy trilogy.
Yeah.
Or Trinity. Did I say trilogy? Oops.
Yes, the trilogy. We start off with number 1, which is
Yes.
number 3, Gecko, and then number 2, Lizat. Yeah. One thing I've a little curious to know, right, is I noticed, like, you have your background for your videos, where it's all the paleo stuff.
Mm.
I noticed you have fair few books in the background.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those what's that?
How many would you say that you have in total in terms of books?
So one's on display. I want to say, I'm gonna cheat and look behind me right now. I want to say I have like about 20, 25 that are actively on the shelf. In storage, I want to say I have a grand total of around 100 or so, 150 in that ballpark. You can't take me to bookstores or anything like that, because if I see something that's even remotely related to paleontology or even biology in a lot of cases, then I'm probably going to pick it up.
And I already know Gecko is watching this thinking, oh no, there's 2 of them. Because
in the same way?
Yes, I'm very much the same way. As soon as I go to a store and I see that there's a book section, I'm immediately looking for something on animals or dinosaurs.
Yeah, that is exactly the way to do it,
There has been
It's kind of addicting, really.
There's been multiple ways I've filled up my bookshelves at the moment. Like I have a lot of stuff on wildcats. I have books going back to like the 1960s on them, all the way up to being published just last year.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
On wildcats, you said?
Yeah. So lions, tigers, fishing cat, all that.
Right. That's awesome.
And then also I have a lot of dinosaur reference works. Like I don't know if you recognize any of these, but like I have a mixture of what I think fall into the popular science type category, and then also like more like, I guess you could say, proper academic reference works. So I have stuff like David Hone's The Tyrannosaur Chronicles, which I think is a fairly recognizable book. But then alongside that, I have what's it called? Don Gluck's Dinosaurs the Encyclopedia. But it's this big thick book. It's so big it's been split into 3 different volumes that all come together. It's 1,100 pages nearly from memory. But then the author, Don Gluck, also wrote 7 supplements for it, slowly updating and correcting information. And yeah, I saved up to get all of them.
That's beautiful.
and that's not all.
That is
like I think I'm probably the same as you, somewhere around like 100, 150 on that sort of stuff. Yeah.
It's good to have those references,
Yep. Trust me, there's been multiple times where I hear Gecko go like, Calvin, what are your thoughts on this or that? All because I have all those references.
Precise information. Yeah, exactly.
Lizette also wanted to send me those images that I just sent you.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks gorgeous.
Yeah, nah.
Wow, those look really cool. I'm I'm really a fan of these. I'm like kind of obsessed with these right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
That first image in particular, the one on the left, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love a good chunky Rex.
I should probably check the live stream chat to see if anyone else has said something new. Just quickly. Calvin has a book
Right
addiction,
on.
yes. Someone asked, are you ever going to make your own story of Pachyrhinosaurus documentary-wise?
Me specifically?
I'm guessing.
That was weird. Okay. Yeah. I actually do want to. Like, I would like to make stories. I don't know how exactly I would. Um, but I think that would certainly be something that'd be fun to do. Me being someone who has taken film classes in the past, it would certainly be on my bucket list. Don't know how again, but yeah, that would be absolutely awesome to do.
Yeah. I will admit, even though I would like to make my own documentaries as well. To which I
Mhm.
guess that's the main reason I just end up doing a lot of dinosaur profile type videos.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there like if you were to make a like say fully realized CGI documentary, what would it be on specifically?
I honestly have no clue. I feel like something that probably hasn't been covered too much. And
Mm-hmm.
Gecko said earlier that apparently I am lagging a fair bit. Oh god, this is gonna be fun. Anyway,
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of why my speech is a little bit staggered because you cut off every once in a while.
incredible. Ah, but anyway, I don't know why, but I feel we need to do something on either saber-tooth cats or mosasaurs.
Ooh,
Yeah.
those are both fantastic options, I'd say. I mean, you know, especially in the vein of, say, Walking with Dinosaurs, where you're following specific individuals and kind of like seeing their day to day life. That would be beautiful. Love to see that. Like the other day, I was kind of just thinking, I was doing a lot of research on Thylacosmilus,
Yeah.
and I was kind of thinking how cool it would be to see that creature in a fully realized CG photorealistic documentary, and kind of seeing the strange happenings of that marsupial relative. I love obscure creatures.
Yeah. Mm. So, yeah, for me, it's just like sometimes there was some stuff where it's like doesn't really seem to be talked about too much. Admittedly,
Right.
sometimes I feel like it sort of goes into this. I don't know. Sometimes it goes into this weird sort of section where it's like it is talked about a lot, because then you have people saying like,
Mm.
"Oh, it's not talked about a lot." Like I hear, "Oh, Smilus isn't really all that well known," but then at the same time, I see a lot of people mentioning it.
Right. I've gotten that too. It's like a lot of people it's like I've never heard of this creature before, but at the same time, I still get a lot of recommendations to talk about it. Very strange.
Mm. It's I think it's more so the case of like it's not talked about among the general public all that often, but then among paleontology
Mhm.
people, it's everywhere.
Yeah, right. So I think in large part it's dependent on what kind of clicks you're in, like how niche you are, who you're surrounded by.
Like, yeah, it gives me vibes of like here and there when I see stuff where it's like, oh, you didn't know this about big cats or whatever. Um, and then I click on it, and it's like I know every single thing here. Or alternatively, whatever I hear that's new sounds like just a bunch of internet rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. That's the fun of it. Gotta love being niche.
It, it gets to the point where sometimes it's like I can't even watch a movie without starting to criticize in that sort of critical lens.
Yeah, like with big cats and things like that.
or a lot of things, yeah. Like, well, the sort of thing where it's like you hear them say this, what's meant to be like some informational piece on dinosaurs, and you just said they're like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Of course,
Right.
you can just say like it's just a movie, but at the same time, it's like, how many people get their info from films?
Well, sometimes it's like, well, yeah, exactly. That's a big thing. Like, you have the crowd who, they're fully aware that this is a fictional story. And, they completely understand that this stuff isn't necessarily meant to be accurate. But then there's also the crowd who they get their information from said movies, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
And like when I'm making some videos, like sometimes I'll make a video about, say, like Jurassic Park misconceptions, like some myths that were started by Jurassic Park and why they're not true. And I'll post that, and there's the people who are surprised that some of these things aren't true. But then there's also people saying, hey, it's just a movie. We all understand it's not a documentary. And it's like, do you though? Some of you don't. That's the problem. So it's like some videos like that are justified.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just a little thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, I know many of us know that this is not meant to be accurate, but the general public, a huge portion of them, they're not necessarily going to know. So it's like they can still, you can still have this movie as entertainment, but I think it is completely fair to have some people come in and say, hey, this is awesome, but it was actually like this too.
It reminds me of once when I was at school, and me and a friend of mine, we were just hanging out in this one room next to what I think was like an history class for some younger students. And I remember, like, for comparison, like, me and my friend were in, like, more senior level of high school. Meanwhile, this one's more in, like, the, I guess, like, sort of middle ground. He comes in to, I think, grab a laptop from a nearby charger. And he sees us, and he said, like, oh, what are you doing? And he sees on my laptop, my school laptop, rather than, doing schoolwork, because I'm at school, I'm looking for books on dinosaurs on Amazon. Meanwhile, I think my friend was just playing video games on his laptop. So, we're definitely being productive. But I remember, right, he comes over, sees I'm looking at a book on horned dinosaurs, and he said, they're like, oh, have you seen Jurassic Park? And we said, they're like, yes, I've seen all the films, before I hear him go like, oh yeah, they're good, eh? And then he walks off, and I remember my friend turned to me, and I don't think he's seen any of the films, so he goes to me, are they actually good? To which I just went, only the first two. This kid's just walking off.
That's funny.
I remember telling my dad that, and he lost it laughing of like, yeah, let the child just have his fun, thinking they're all enjoyable. Yep. I think that's probably one of the main comments you'll hear as a paleontology note. Just, have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yeah, that's one of them. Another that I found a lot is the classic "Who would win?" questions.
And now, Gecko's just, right, because like I said, there is a list of questions. Gecko just sent in his own questions. You need to ask him about Valley of the T-Rex.
Ooh.
That documentary.
Valley of the infamous T-Rex. I got a story with that one. I first watched that when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And back then, when you're a child, you're very impressionable. You believe what these people are saying. These guys are paleontologists. I know what they're saying is true. So I remember watching that documentary when I was younger and immediately going upstairs to my parents and just explaining to them why T-Rex didn't actually hunt its food. The amount of damage that did on our household was just unsurmountable. That is a documentary that, I don't know, it probably has done a lot of damage overall to the image of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Of course, it is filled with several holes. It's been a lot of the points that are brought up about T-Rex being primarily an obligate scavenger have been debunked time and time again. But even still, I'll still get comments of people saying, "Wasn't T-Rex actually just a scavenger?" So no, wasn't. So that that documentary, that is one of the most documentaries of all time. I could say that. And
Uh,
those are my thoughts.
I remember Gecko and we tried to record a video of ourselves reacting to it, and now there's
Mhm.
dogs barking in the background. Brilliant.
Very good.
We're having fun. We're definitely having a very quality live stream, to say the least. But, uh, hang on, I'll be back. I'll just go deal with them.
So I assume I'm still here. If you guys are watching on the stream, hello. My face is lighting green, so I assume I'm still here. I can't read anything that anyone's saying, but all of you who are watching that live stream, how are you doing today? How are you doing tonight? You guys doing good? Hope so.
I have returned.
He returns.
Yeah, where was I gonna say? Yeah, Gecko and I tried to record our own video, trying to like go over Valley of the T-Rex or react to it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think overall, well, I think the video got corrupted, so Gecko couldn't actually edit it. But it was
Oh no.
one of those things where it's like, considering how many cursed jokes we made, it's like probably a good thing. Because I think I actually said this to Raptor Chatter when I interviewed him like probably a year ago now. Yeah, we ended up making a lot of certain jokes about extreme age gaps between married couples,
Mm.
because you know that whole scandal with Jack Horny.
Yeah, sure. The 19-year-old. Very good.
Yeah, uh, I remember Raptor Chatter saying he actually knew people who had like met Jack Horner around that time that happened, and he said like, yeah, and they was like, yeah, he's a great dude, but that was something. Just like, for the love
Yeah,
of
that
Christ.
that is certainly something, I'll say.
Could you imagine, like, I think I said to Gecko that, like, the youngest I'm okay dating is, like, 2 years younger than me. Meanwhile, Jack Horner's like, now let's have a 52-year age gap.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is very crazy.
I think I know someone where they said, like, one of their daughters has an age where their daughters date. I think they said their daughter's like, I think like 20, and they're dating a 36-year-old. And it's like, I look at that and it's like a bit creepy. Meanwhile, Jack's just like, nah, I'm gonna just increase that a little more.
Multiple decades. Bring on the decades.
Just like, you know, good sir, when you're dating someone who's so much younger than you could be their grandfather. I think it's probably best you stop. I love someone's comment, Jack Horny. And, where was it? Lizat also wanted to ask you about a killer beta, but I don't think I can show that off or not, because they also have a killer beta in the game they're making.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly,
I mean, yeah.
I found that sort of weird. Like I said, I don't know if I can show it off, and I don't have any good images I could send anyway. But yeah, I found that one interesting when they said that they got a kilo in there, because I don't think a kilo is really all that popular, is it?
I wouldn't say so, especially compared to other large dromaeosaurids, like, of course, Utah raptor.
Yeah,
Um,
like I
I
think
mean,
like
it's gaining a little bit of popularity, but
Like, I think when it comes to, like, the super big, dromaeosaurs, like, Utahraptor is definitely the one. Yeah, Lizat just said a kilo's incomplete, so definitely not showing it off.
Yeah. Very good, very good. But I'm sure it looks beautiful.
Well, now I got two relatively popular YouTubers who are interested in Gecko's game. Next,
Yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome.
you have to redo the bloody many interpretations of T-Rex to add the one of his freaking T-Rex design, which would probably change by like what, all of 1%, considering how many different T-Rexes there are.
Yeah, listen, I gotta redo like most of those videos. There's constantly new creatures like showing up in media.
Someone also just said we should discuss the myth that is the Dakota Raptor.
Dakota Raptor. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to talk about that, if I'm being honest. I mean, I volunteer at a museum, and they're like, they know a little bit more than I do, but it's like nothing's been published, so I don't think I can say anything. I'm not even. I don't even know.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot, where it's like you have people who reach out and ask about it, but for me, it's like I remember here and there.
It's a comp.
Yeah, you have that whole thing of it's a chimera of animals. But I remember like here and there, like with a couple other friends, like I have a mate in the UK and another one in the Netherlands, and I remember a couple times I've been on Discord calls with them, and I remember one of them, out of nowhere, he had this freaking obsession with like going like, oh, I think these species should be lumped together as one, or do you think Mapusaurus is a valid genus? What's it called? What's freaking? Oh yeah. I ended up saying to him about it like, you do understand, right, that with paleontologists, like, to give his own sort of like reasoning, he'd just like show me two pictures, one of each animal, in terms of like skeletons in museums, you know, like casts and all that. So like, don't you think they look similar enough? And I'm just like, you do know that with paleontologists, right, they examine these things down to like all the little bits and pieces that they can, like pretty much every single little character, the way something's an angle, how big it is, how much it weighs, yeah, that all is factored into, is this and that thing the same?
Yeah, that is a big thing, is eyeballing with the public.
Like, yeah,
it's like it looks like so and so,
and not just that.
It's like, okay.
I think it's also worth knowing, like with some of it, like if I'm correctly with Saurophaganax on display in museums, because there's not too much known of, Saurophaganax, they actually use scaled up casts of Allosaurus. So you might actually look and go like, well, you might be like eyeballing it based on just one photo you see from like I think it's the Sam Noble Museum with their Saurophaganax. Then you might look at the statues and stuff of Big Al and go like, oh, you know, don't they look similar enough? But it's like, well, like I said, scaled up casts of Allosaurus. So, you know, if you actually had proper Saurophaganax material, it probably would look a whole lot different.
Yeah, no, a lot of paleontology, as you said, is just literally just meticulous analyzing of fossils and comparing them to other fossils that are available and seeing if they're different or similar. You know, and they don't just look at that and say, yeah, it looks like Allosaurus.
I think it was last year, 2023, they came out with a study looking at the family tree of Thyreophorans. And I think one of the main advertising points that I saw from the paper on Twitter was 91 different genera, 300 plus characters analyzed. So in other words, that's 300 different individual traits among all the fossil material they
Right.
have in order to see how closely related is this thing to this thing. So
Right.
yeah, and then of course, obviously,
It's
like you said, a lot of it is eyeballing. So it wouldn't be surprised if it depends also on the different interpretations by the authors. I
yeah, I mean, it depends on who's drawing it, of course.
Yeah, yeah. I think I don't know if you saw it, but there are also rumors going around. Well, I think there was a abstract leaked for a paper that says that Saurophaganax actually has some sauropod material.
Oh, yeah. I've certainly heard about that. Uh can't Of course we can't really say anything until
Yeah.
we see the details as to why they did that, so
Well,
can't really say that it's a sauropod.
yeah. Well, that is just the abstract, and
Yeah.
well, as I've said to people, like most like pseudo researchers out there, they'll just read the abstract and go like, "Oh, incredible." But it's like
Mhm.
as I remember one person saying the actual thing, or if they're a lot smarter, they'll just simply skip down to the conclusion. When the actual thing is that with the actual paper itself is the methods, materials, discussion, and all that.
Yeah,
So
it's important to understand the process that went behind this, these conclusions.
yeah, I've
And that's
said
like a big part of it.
like I remember with this. I'm not sure if they have this in high school in the US or UK or wherever else people are watching this from, but here in Australia, right? Because I was originally homeschooled. Now I'm actually in high
Mm.
school in a public school, and I I remember with a lot of the assignments I had to do this year with most, actually no, probably all of the lesson subjects I've done this year. A lot of them are stuff like you have to cite sources and you have to list out your methods, analyze and break down this and that, to the point it's like you are basically just writing a miniature scientific paper.
Right.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
and that's just basic high school education.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's the scientific method was at the very least in the schools in the States, the ones that I went to, it was kind of drilled into us quite a bit.
Yeah, it gets to the
Not
point where
not as much as after high school, but yeah.
yeah, in all honesty, I find that so surprising then when I see people where they just said they're like, oh, according to most sources, never cite any sources.
Right, yeah.
Okay. I love it when people who are oh so thorough in their research are never academic enough to show their sources.
Just read a quick Facebook post, like read the headline of a Facebook post.
If you want to see a fun example of it, you should look at the Laser Pig T14 Armata drama. If you're into military stuff,
Mm,
where if I remember correctly, right? So you had a military YouTuber named Laser Pig. He did a video on Russia's T14 Armata tank, and he made quite a few
mm.
different claims about it, mainly about the engine being based on a German World War II engine, from memory. And from there, you had a couple other war type YouTubers known as Red Effect and Cone of Arc make videos on this. Like, where did he get this info from? Just like, where did he get this from? And that's where after a while there ended up being this massive argument between them. And I remember in a response video Laserpig made, he said that until Cone of Arc and Red Effect go through the same grueling process he went through to find the sources he did, he is not showing off his sources.
Uh,
To which that's where immediately everyone was pointing out of like either you have the sources and they're unreliable, or you don't have sources and you're trying to hide it. Because I think,
by that point,
because I think too,
I'm sorry, what?
I think it also later turned out, or I saw something saying that Lace Pig is also partnered with United 24 Media, which is a Ukrainian sort of like propaganda channel. So in other words, you'd probably
Mm.
find that his video on the T-14 slandering it, since it's a Russian
Mm.
tank, Ukraine
Yeah.
neither. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you just put two and two together. Maybe it's the case that he just said that to try and slander Russia.
That that does seem like it could be a possibility because I mean with a response like that, you don't have a source. There's no source because if you did, just yeah, here it is. See? It says so right here. This is where I got my information from. But no, you're like, no, you gotta work for it, all right? I had to work for it. You gotta go through the grueling process. That is interesting.
Yeah,
That is certainly interesting. That is an interesting defense.
I love that. He's trying to make himself out as some sort of man. Nobody, just freaking give the sources. I think they basically
Yeah,
left the entire drama, and I think, just from memory, I think Cone and Red Effect won out. And since then, I have
yeah, I'd
not.
imagine so.
And since then, I've not really watched Laser Pig. Alright,
Right.
so getting back onto paleontology, I think it might be best to start asking some of the questions. So the first one
Okay.
is, what would you say got you interested in dinosaurs?
I feel like I always have like a really boring answer to this because I have no idea. I was into dinosaurs. I was a dinosaur kid, right? I was like 4 years old when I first became interested in dinosaurs, and I simply never grew out of it. I don't know what got me into it.
So
So
basically,
I got, huh?
it's just like out of nowhere, just hit you, and that's it.
Pretty much, yeah. All my like, I've asked my parents about it. All they can tell me was, "No, you used to love horses until you loved dinosaurs," and that's all the information I have. It's just always been a part of me. I just simply never grew out of it. So many folks have asked that question. I've never given them a satisfying answer.
Incredible. Someone also just asked in the live stream chat, thoughts on the Nanotyrannus debate.
Ooh. The Nanotyrannus debate, that, I mean, everybody has their opinions on that. Me personally, I think that the evidence suggesting a juvenile Tyrannosaurus Rex is far more compelling. I am unpopular with that because, again, the museum that I volunteered for, literally everybody there agrees that Nanotyrannus is a valid genus. And I'm fighting an uphill battle with that. Um, yeah, no, I think that we don't really have good enough information right now. I think that we need to analyze more specimens, like probably analyze the Jane specimen as well as analyze the battling, or what is it called, the fighting dinosaur specimen or dueling dinosaurs, one of those, to actually get a satisfying conclusion to that debate. Because right now, most of what we have is kind of like iffy. If not iffy, it's, again, in my opinion, a little bit more compelling on the side for juvenile T-Rex.
Hmm.
So I guess that's where I stand.
Like I said, for me, it's one of those things where when it comes to all the taxonomic stuff, like when I got asked, like, do you think this and this animal are should be lumped together? And all they do is say they're like, you know, they just have the two furs and they said like, don't they look similar enough? For me, it's like I tend to stay away a bit more from the taxonomy stuff because for me, it's like like I said, just hundreds of characters being analyzed, and they actually have the bones to work with, so they can actually be physically there and analyze them on a much more detailed level than a like 1044p image you found online.
Yeah.
And then that's
Yeah.
when they make the papers and all that. And of course, it then comes down to the fossil material, well, the interpretation of the fossil material, since there's a reason why there's still been so many papers published, back and forth in the
Exactly.
debate. To the point that for me, it's like, well, I reckon it would be interesting to do something on nano. Definitely staying away from it for now. For me, I don't really bother with that.
That's
Like, is this thing valid or not? Type
yeah,
arguments.
yeah. That's probably for the best. It'd probably save you a lot of headaches, Because I mean, like in all actuality, the truth of the matter is we don't have enough skeletal material of Nanotyrannus, and we need a little bit more skeletal material of Tyrannosaurus Rex. We need like younger individuals of Tyrannosaurus Rex, and if Nanotyrannus is its own genus, then we need older individuals to actually get a satisfying conclusion to it. Because right now it's just going to keep going back and forth with a lot of the same points being brought up.
Yeah. It sort of gives me vibes of some people I run into whenever I might reference a book. And they'll go like, oh, that book's outdated, it's from 2016. This paper came out that says otherwise. And one of the things I find funny is with like the Narratorans debate, like you can look and go like, oh, this paper from 2024 says that it's valid. And at the same time it's like, haven't you seen the repeated back and forth between new studies coming out? Like I think in 2020 there was a thing on bone structure in the animals and bone structure on Nanotyrannus, internal bone structure, and it said that apparently it's just a juvenile T-Rex. But now we have a new study saying that Nano is valid.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's... it's like, there's no winning either side, is there?
I mean, that is paleontology in a nutshell, you know, where they're looking at what evidence we have and just trying to form pictures out of that. It's like detective work. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of debates and speculation involved with that. That's some of the fun of it.
Yeah. Someone just also asked, what are your thoughts on the saber-toothed mummy?
Oh, I love it. That was such an amazing discovery. The Homotherium latidens. Incredibly well preserved. It was the first ever saber-toothed mummy discovered, and so it offers a lot of insight about that group of cats. Because of course, the saber-toothed cats, that whole group of cats, they're extinct. They don't have any modern examples today. So this little cub offers a little bit of insight about the way that these animals were in life. I mean, because like it was 3 weeks old, and it is pretty distinct from a 3-week-old lion cub. So it's something that's really going to give a lot of really good insight about this family of cats, or group of cats. I'm excited for it. It's amazing.
Definitely an interesting find. Alongside that, what got you interested in YouTube?
That is an interesting story because Dino Guy is not my first attempt at YouTube. I started a channel when I was 12, I want to say. And I worked on that channel all the way up until I was about 20. Went nowhere. Maybe got about 300 subscribers. So I kind of retired that channel. Started up TikTok. Gained a following on TikTok. And I was like, hey, I can try YouTube out again. So I made a new channel called the Dino Guy. And yeah, now here I am.
With nearly as many subscribers as Red Raptor Writes.
Really? How many does he have?
Actually, hang on, let me check. Because I'm pretty sure you're only like 5k away.
Really? No way. I never checked how many subscribers he had. I thought he's at miles ahead of me.
He's at 32.7 thousand. Then where's your channel? Because I'm subscribed to both of you.
Let me check. I'm at 25,000 currently. Yeah, wow. I didn't know I was that close to him.
7k
cool.
Away. Someone also just...
Cool.
Sharktos just asked if you've done any work on Yutyrannus.
If I've done any work? I mean, of course, I'm not a practicing paleontologist. I've never done any like official work on any fossil specimens. But of course, I have made videos about Yutyrannus. I did recently upload a many interpretations of Yutyrannus a couple weeks ago, I want to say. So researched it quite a bit and made a pretty fun video overall.
Epic.
Plus a couple TikToks.
And someone also asked, why do you think Smilodons adopted a bear-like build / bulldog build and not a conventional felid one? I
I
don't know.
think in large.
Smilodon just said, F it, time to just become bear.
I mean, of course, like with most other you know, animals that are like evolutionary pressures that cause animals to adapt to certain ecological niches, Smilodon was hunting these large animals, like these large ungulates and things like that, that were probably very difficult to take down. They also had saber teeth that were very delicate. Well, not necessarily delicate, but they just didn't want to break them, because they were necessary to help dispatch their prey.
Yeah.
So they would need massive forelimbs and an overall massive build to pin down their prey first before dealing that killing blow. So yeah, definitely the type of bear slash bulldog build is pretty necessary for something like that.
I mean, to a certain extent, Smilodon looks like a freaking bobcat that's just hit steroids.
It kind of does. I've never thought of it like that, but you're kind of right.
It just got steroids and decided to hit the gym like a lunatic.
It did what any reasonable cat would do.
It's like memes I see online of like, trust me, bro, she's the one for me. 1 year after the breakup, yeah, let's just say
This
that
becomes Smilodon.
he's definitely getting his gym membership worth.
Yeah. he got the best use out of it. Really did.
He's got the best pre-workout ever at a breakup. So asking some more stuff from the like general questions I have. Any particular projects you'd like to make for YouTube?
Oh, all kinds. All kinds. I want to do live action dinosaur short films because I think that would just be fun. It'd be a fun thing to do. Those are huge projects that I'd like to do. There's all kinds of videos that I just kind of have cooking in the back of my head that I love to do. I want to do more Land Before Time content because I've been introducing those movies to my daughter, and so it's like been on my mind. All kinds of different things. If I could ever go full time, then yeah, I could definitely tackle a lot more of those. But yeah, that yeah.
Yeah. Someone also just asked, besides the Spinosaurus skull, do you have any more real or replica fossils?
Ooh, I have a lot of shell fossils from like looking for fossils because the layer in which I'm in was underwater. Like it was underwater during the late Cretaceous period. So I have a lot of aquatic fossils that I found in areas that I'm allowed to look for fossils. I do have some replicas. I do have a Spinosaurus tooth replica. I have a Parasaurolophus tooth replica. I do have a fish fossil that I also found around here, and a small piece of a Triceratops tooth. And I think that's it. Oh no, a replica of an Allosaurus claw. That's right. I have that. I'm probably forgetting something, but those are the basic gist of it.
Yeah, I've noticed it seems like you can get a lot. I think I even came across a website that was actually selling proper Carcharodontosaurus teeth, real Carcharo teeth.
Ooh,
Although
that sounds like a good thing to spend my money on.
you'd probably find, because I'm pretty sure with them they were like sharks, where they just shed teeth constantly, weren't they?
Yeah, dinosaurs
They
like
just grow
theropods in
back.
particular, they lose their teeth all the time.
Like, I think I even watched something where they said that a good way to tell if this or that species was actually in a given area was not to look for fossils, but if there's actually teeth found.
Right. Yes, you would find a lot of dinosaur teeth. They're so common that yeah, they're able to. A lot of people are allowed to sell them, which is it doesn't happen too much with some fossils, but yeah, that is just very common.
Compared to, oh, yeah, it's like sharks, because I'm pretty sure I saw something saying that they can actually like use sharks as fossils and stuff to sort of like track how common sharks were in any given formation.
Yeah, right.
That's where they reckon they were nearly wiped out 19 million years ago, because there's this drop off in occurrences there.
Huh. Yeah, that is a surefire way to do it. Just look for the teeth.
Okay. Thoughts on modern paleo media?
I think the modern paleo media is just getting fantastic recently. Like, especially if we're incorporating documentaries, then all around, I think we're getting a good, like, there's a good output of paleo media. Prehistoric Planet has been fantastic. There's been some really good games like Path of Titans, the Kyoryu, which will be showing up here pretty soon. So all around, I think the paleo media is looking pretty strong. Like, I'm hoping that the Jurassic franchise takes a good turn because I wasn't that big of a fan of Dominion, but yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Also, a lot of fan projects like Dead Sound's Dinosauria series, as well as Bloodlines on YouTube. Here on YouTube, there's a lot of really cool things to look forward to.
Yeah. I think there was also recently, earlier this year, the ABC, Australian Broadcasting Corporation, because I live in Australia. I think they put out a documentary as well on Australian Ice Age megafauna.
Oh, did they already release that?
I'm pretty sure it's out.
Because a buddy of mine sent me a trailer for that, and I haven't ever been able to find out when it would come out. I wanted to see it.
Someone just also asked thoughts on life on our planet.
Oh, yeah, life on our planet's a mixed bag. I did a review on that back when it first came out. There are good things about it that, like, for the most part, I liked the modern day sections, but the prehistoric sections kind of felt like an afterthought, unfortunately. A lot of them were kind of like lackluster. There were some inaccuracies, of course. There were some good moments, of course. You know, like I said, some of the designs looked really good. Some of the designs did not look really good. It's overall a mixed bag.
Yeah, for me, in all honesty, I thought it was, and I think I mainly just got this from the trailers and all that, I thought it was actually going to be a mainly, like, actual dinosaur-focused thing. I didn't know there was going to
That's
be modern
definitely what.
stuff thrown in.
Yeah, that's definitely what the trailers would make you think. At the very least, I knew, like, you know, the trailers showed modern day stuff. I thought we were going to have like a timeline sort of thing where you start off really early on in the Precambrian, or, you know, around that time, and then you go all the way up to the Cenozoic. But it was just this documentary just like went all over the place. It would show us a little bit of like a dinosaur scene, and then it would cut to a modern day scene. It was a little bit disappointing.
I found it felt very just disjointed doing that, because for me it's like I'm sat there, like, you know, getting really into the paleo stuff, and it cuts to some random spiders doing a mating dance. And for
Yeah,
me it's
right.
like, I don't want to watch bugs have sex. I want to watch the dinosaurs hunt and kill something.
Right, right.
That's probably the best way to put it. Like, if I want to watch bugs do their mating dance and try and get themselves a girlfriend while I'm sat here single on Valentine's Day, I'll watch an actual dedicated documentary on insects. No, I'm not gonna reckon. When I see that there's dinosaurs, I want to see the dinosaurs.
Right, right. And especially with how much it was advertised. If I remember correctly, the trailers were almost primarily prehistoric creatures, just with some modern creatures sprinkled in.
Yeah,
So
like,
it really feels like they were trying to push the notion that this is a paleo documentary.
yeah. I also think in terms of games, like, well, I have Time Forgotten that I showed to you, but also I think what's called a Fossils and Archaeology mod for Minecraft. I'm pretty sure that's
Ooh,
getting
yes.
a massive redo in the future.
Yes, it is. I am very much looking forward to that.
I know Gecko and I are also, because
Gonna
like,
be amazing.
uh, like, Gecko and I have been playing that here and there, the Fossils and Archaeology
Mm.
mod, but we also stuck on a bunch of other mods. To the point that I remember I was playing Minecraft with a friend of mine last night, and I think he described the creepers as moving at light speed, because I don't know what we've done, but some mod we stuck on there, for some reason everything moves so freaking fast.
I think I've seen that mod before. That is hilarious.
Oh, then he also added on. Or I remember when when I saw this, I was like, can we just get to playing Minecraft already? And I hear him go like, no, we have to have this one. This is fantastic. And it was a mod called Trumpet Skeleton. It's a
Called what?
skeleton with a trumpet, and the trumpet knocks you back whenever they use it on you. For some
Oh,
reason,
beautiful.
the trumpet skeleton moves at light speed as well. To the point that I've said to people it blitzes human perception. Because I'm sat there trying to hit it with a sword, and it's literally dodging my attacks. I'm just sat there like, oh, for the love of God.
That's kind of beautiful. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, and then you know the Phaliosaurus in Minecraft?
Yes.
That one is a completely different story. You should have. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish I recorded this in hindsight. Who knows, maybe Gecko has a clip of it, but it was when we had a Phaliosaurus in our base. The thing, for some reason, it did not attack Gecko. It attacked me. And it seemed to want. I think it was so hooked on killing me that if it could jump out my computer and attack me in real life, it could. Because the thing just. It came bolting over towards me at like 5 times the speed of the bloody trumpet skeletons. And it just looks so terrifyingly stupid, considering it. As I remember one person described it to me, it looks like a sentient Roomba. So it's
A
like.
sentient Roomba.
So I'm just sat there trying to whack this thing and trying to save my life in Minecraft, and you hear me just laughing in terror. Why does it move so fast? Uh,
That's amazing. I love that.
like only a couple days ago, like after I'd gone with you and scheduled when to do this interview, I remember getting a Phaliosaurus on a world I have just for myself. Now more recently a friend of mine at the school as well. And I remember, right, Phaliosaurus in my base. My base is basically like this giant warehouse, so it's like this wide open space. I end up running to the other side of my base, and I turn and I just see it come scooting towards me at full speed like a NASCAR, like like it's Usain Bolt. And I remember I started laughing so hard that I actually paused my game and got up from my chair because I actually had to take a breather after seeing that. Because I was like, that did not just happen.
I'm like going like, oh, just heaven.
Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I know it's just a game, but that was somehow both terrifying and funny at the same time.
That's what I like about it, man. That is like what makes or breaks a game, you know? Moments like that.
Uh, I remember once. I remember once I had to help these people like with redesigning a room at my school, and one girl there suggested getting gaming chairs. To which I remember me and this other boy just looked up immediately and we went, no. And I think I even said, like, I had a gaming chair once and and the padding wears out in like 6 months. To which I think her response was just, it's not a gaming chair, it's gaming chair. To which all I have to say is Gecko would get along with this girl, considering the fact that there's been multiple occasions he goes to me stuff like, it's not Giganotosaurus, it's Giganotosaurus. Learn Latin! See, they'd be a perfect match. They can both abuse me over how I pronounce stuff. But I remember,
Yeah.
But I remember from there, right? She mentioned Minecraft a couple times, and then she asks me, "Are you a gamer, Calvin?" And all the flashbacks I'd had to playing on that Minecraft world, where the mobs are moving at light speed. We have Usain Bolt, Phaliosaurus. We have the Flash in the form of the trumpet skeleton. And I'm just sat there like, there's some clips I could show you. But if I were to, I think the person I recorded them with would want to kill me. Because of all the stupidity I had with Gecko on there. Like I said, I remember for like 2 hours, I'm just sat there going to him like, can we just get to playing Minecraft? He said like, no, there's a couple more mods I have to install. 5 hours later, can we get to playing Minecraft? I don't know, just a couple more mods. I think there's like nearly 40 mods in total, and one shaders pack.
Jeez. My computer can never.
Just incredible, as you can tell. Just incredible. Are you a gamer?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm with a lunatic.
It's like, indeed.
Just... I remember actually last night as well, like I said, I was playing with a friend of mine, and when I sent him the pack and all that, and told him what's in it, they said, like, is this gonna kill my laptop? So it looks like,
yes.
You're not the only person out there said that, like, I don't think my computer's gonna run this. Just all you see is like a nuclear bomb go off as your computer explodes from the pressure.
Be like one of those SpongeBob cutaways where it's like something terrible happens, then it cuts to a nuclear explosion.
It would be the sort of thing where your computer starts to sound like heavy machinery, this long winding noise, and then
like an airplane taking off.
I can imagine that now.
Like, well, that's it.
I think Gecko said that, right? Because it's both Gecko and Lizat working on Time Forgotten. And I think he said that here and there with Lizat's laptop. All he hears in the background is just this loud whining noise like a jet aircraft.
That's the perfect description.
I think he said to me once when he was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 with him and someone else, he goes to his friend like, look, Lizat's playing on a nuclear reactor. Although in saying that, I notice a lot of background noise with my microphone, which probably comes from my computer, so I'm not much better. You just hear this out.
Just the low rumble.
Yeah. Alongside that, next question. Thoughts on the paleontology side of YouTube?
I think it's pretty good overall. There's a lot of really good paleo creators out there, like Benji Thomas. I've seen some of Edge Science; they're pretty decent. Yeah, I think that paleo side of YouTube is pretty good. There's some, of course, there's some bad, but we don't talk about Bruno.
So that reminds me of like recently, right? Like, what's his name? Extinct Zoo. Have you seen that channel?
No, maybe. I don't know. Let me look real quick. I might have.
Okay, well in that case, I'm honestly surprised because out of nowhere they shot up to like 500,000 subscribers from memory. Like I remember back.
Really?
I remember back when they only had like 400 subscribers, and then they just shot up.
That's insane. Oh, I have seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen these videos everywhere. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember, right? So they take off. They get, I think, like 8 million views on one of their videos.
Mm.
And there, you know how AI's become really popular as of recently, and you have all these like AI generated channels popping up.
Yes.
I've come across a lot of those channels actually ripping off his videos. Like he did a video titled something like a bear that was as large as Allosaurus. Alright?
Yeah.
Next minute, I come across like 2 or 3 AI generated videos, all titled stuff like the prehistoric bear from the Ice Age that was as large as Allosaurus.
Very good.
And then there was also another one, like he did, I think it's his most popular, Prehistoric Australia was pure nightmare fuel or something like that. Next minute, I've gone multiple different AI generated videos with AI generated thumbnails recommended to me, told stuff like Prehistoric Australia was an absolute nightmare. And not just that, but even to try and ride off of it further, it won't just be Australia. They also have Prehistoric North America was pure nightmare fuel.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. That is exactly the way that those work.
Heck, I've even seen some of them like directly copy the thumbnails as well. But the difference might be is that they'll have the same image for the thumbnail, they just won't have text in it. Others, they just completely actually steal the thumbnail. They literally just download the thumbnail and make it theirs.
Right. That's pretty ridiculous.
And I've noticed it with Extinct Zoo's content mainly, that people are just ripping off his.
Right. Yeah, well, definitely with a channel that popular, it gets that many views, it certainly doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, you definitely have some good there, like, ignoring all the plagiarism stuff with Edge, right? It's like, he makes overall alright content.
Yeah.
You have Red Raptor Rights, your stuff, and then everyone else, Benji Thomas. And then it's
Benji Thomas,
like you said,
Dino Facts.
We don't talk about the side of YouTube where we have AI generated slop content.
That is exactly what I'm referring to, and the thumbnails come across like this giant snake once terrorized the Paleocene or something like that. It's like a giant snake just wrapping around a skyscraper. It's like, oh, good, that's what we're doing now.
I love it. All the clickbait content has evolved backwards.
Yeah, backwards. It's evolving just backwards. Man.
I guess that answers the question of the next one. Things that annoy you about paleontology or the community surrounding it.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Is just those clickbait videos, and that's not even unique to paleontology. I think it's a problem throughout all of YouTube, where it's just like all they have is just a bunch of just AI generated videos. Like the script is AI generated, the thumbnails are generated. It's terrible. I don't like it.
I love it here and there with some of the stuff I see. Just incredible. Like, just, what am I meant to say with half of it? And then, if it's not all that, it's just the latest drama between this and that YouTuber.
Right.
Like
that is
what I
think of
a
it.
fair bit of like strongman and bodybuilding type content. I prefer strongman though. I remember seeing something of a popular bodybuilding YouTuber called Jeff Nippard, where he got assaulted in a gym. Next minute, I see one of those alpha male type YouTube channels where they made a couple videos on it where it's told something like, fake alpha male tries to bully a nerd. I'm just like, can't you actually just report it as what it is rather than just putting your own spin on it of fake alpha male? It's like, was this guy even an alpha male to begin with? The dude who was, Jeff Nippard, he's like 5'5" and 80 kilos. And then you have the guy who assaulted him, who's like 140 kilos and like claims to be at least 6 foot. How about you just report it as, I don't know, an absolute wanker and disgrace of a man tries to bully an actual good person. But no, what sells better, that or fake alpha male?
It's definitely the latter, I'd say.
Like, yeah, I don't need to hear the alpha, beta, sigma, omega male stuff, because I'm pretty sure that was debunked decades ago since you got it from wolves. Just report it as it is. A dude got assaulted in a gym, and this isn't what needs to happen, considering you have the stereotype that everyone in the gym is an absolute lunatic. Although in saying that, I know someone at the school who goes to the gym, and he's an absolute frickin' lunatic, so... Maybe the stereotype isn't as false. Got only like a couple more questions left. So, any interests besides paleontology?
Oh yeah, I'm a big movie person. Watch a lot of movies, Marvel, Star Wars, Rocky, any movie. So that's like my hobby. I go running all the time, and I mountain bike. I'm a pretty active dude, I do declare. So yeah, those would be my interests.
Yeah. Ugh, sounds like fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the grand time.
Hmm. I mean, I remember spending like a good part of this year running around a fair bit at my school, whether it be chasing my friends around or just feeling the need to run.
Feeling the need to run. Yeah, gotta pull on a full Forrest Gump.
Yeah. I mean, like I said to people, it's like, good exercise. I mean, heck, I said to Gecko yesterday, a couple of days ago, that I went from, I think, 95 kilos at the beginning of the year, right? Which is like
Mm,
210 pound for American viewers. I'm now down
mm.
to 80 kilo, which is like 180 pound.
That's wow.
And I said to people here
That's
and there,
quite a jump.
and I said to people here and there that I'd like to get down to somewhere between 70 to 80 kilo, which is like 150 to 180 pound. So
Right,
I'm
right.
quite happy with that transformation from going from nearly 220 pounds in weight to 180.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome, dude.
I remember some girls at my school said like, you shouldn't be like starving yourself whatever when you're young in order to become like thinner and all that and get lighter in weight. But like I said
Mm,
to him, I'm only eating a small calorie deficit. It's not like I'm actually starving myself for like 30 days or something. Like doing one of those
right,
religious fasts or
right. Yeah.
and not just that, but alongside that, besides also eating less, been eating healthier, and then on top of that, just been working out a whole lot more. Like I said, running around. I remember one of the girls was said to like lift weights instead of eating less, and I said to like, I've been lifting weights. Go for a run. I did go for a run. I got everything covered. You cannot argue with me. If I'm smart enough to know about paleontological animals and just biology in general, I think I have some understanding of how the human body works. Thank you.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta let them know.
Yes, just like shut up and let me achieve my goals. Just
Yeah.
shut the hell up. Uh, and then just a final question of any video requests for me to make. Though I don't think you've really checked out any of the things I've seen.
Wait, what was that?
Any video requests for me to make?
For you to make?
Yeah.
Well, now that you brought it to my attention, I wouldn't mind seeing a Smilodon video.
In all honesty, I have been thinking for a while a Smilodon vid.
It's a good idea.
Like, I think I said to you earlier that I have a bunch of books on wildcats. I also have, what's it called, the book Sabretooth by Mauricio Anton. Don't know if you reckon.
Those sounds sick. I recognize the second one, yes.
Yeah, Sabretooth.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm trying to think, I think there was an actual, like, full-on academic reference work that was written on Smilodon itself. But one thing I will say there, in terms of like it actually being a book you can get, I think I saw something saying it's like $230 something Australian on Amazon, which is
Hmm.
like, I think that's like 150 US. Um, that's like double
That's
what
crazy.
that's like double what it costs to get Sabretooth.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm spending 150 US dollars.
Yeah, that's a little bit steep, I'd say.
Although in saying that, I remember like I had asked someone a while back, like it's a crocodile YouTuber by the name of Gator Jake. I'd actually reached out to him asking for like books on crocodiles, and
Hmm.
I remember he recommended this one book that sounded interesting. It was on like husbandry and behavior of crocodiles. So I was
Oh yeah.
like, oh, that seems like it'd be interesting. So I look it up on
Uh,
eBay because he said it's a fairly old book, And I noticed a trend where it's like, when buying stuff online, for newer books, go to Amazon, or perhaps just the publisher's website.
Yeah.
Or, if you're looking for some older books, go to eBay. Because then, you have a bunch of, like, cheap secondhand copies that people are just trying to get rid of. Not really trying to make
Mm.
money off of it. Just, purchasing. Well, just flogging it off. It might be the case that, like, a family member just died, so they're getting rid of all their belongings. Alright? So you can find a lot of books on there for, like, scarily cheap prices.
Right.
So I'm suddenly like, oh, this is a bit of an older book. So I'll hop on eBay to look for it. So I copy and paste the title over into eBay, and you should have heard the audible gasp I let out as I saw that it was like $2,000 Australian.
Oh my.
Like, you just hear me go.
Yeah, just sharp breath.
I let out this freaking massive sharp breath of like, holy crap. Actually, let me look that up. AUD to USD. So that you get an exact translation, because it tends to hover about all the time.
Right.
So that would be nearly $1,300 US.
That is something. That is something.
$1,274.22. Like, the 22 cents would be the most expensive part of that.
Yeah.
Incredible. Yeah, like, I couldn't believe it when I saw that was the price. And that, not just that, but that was the only copy on eBay.
Right.
So it's like,
That's
well, and I think that was also like basically the only place I could find it too. So it's like, well, I guess I need to be a millionaire if I want to get that book.
yeah, that is grim.
Although in saying that, I think he said there was also another like textbook on crocodiles I could get that was only like $200, and it's more up to date.
Oh, that's
So it's like, I'd rather
it's
get
not.
that.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Not a terrible idea.
Because I've noticed that with some books, they just end up being what I think Darren Naish described as prohibitively expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think one of the first dedicated works on marine reptiles was a textbook called Ancient Marine Reptiles, not to be confused with Darren Naish's book Ancient Sea Reptiles, because this thing came out like 26 years beforehand.
Yeah.
And I tried searching around for it on Amazon. You can find a lot of copies of this book, but it's like $250 Australian.
Right.
So
That's
yeah. I remember there's also a book on tigers I wanted to get where it was like $300. So it's like,
that.
yeah, that's starting to get a bit out there.
It's like, okay, I'm kind of losing a little bit here. Need to take a step back.
Admittedly, you have like the Internet Archive, where a lot of those books can be found on. But I know some say like borrow unavailable, which is a bit annoying.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never tried that personally.
It's pretty good. You should see the amount of books I have saved on there. I have too many, I think I can say.
Too many.
Like, sometimes I'll just go through and I'll find like all books on like whatever subjects. Like, I think on my school computer now, I think they said that the Department of Education, right? Because on the school laptops there are certain things that are blocked, and it even fluctuates between different year levels, right? Like, I don't think year 10s and below can get YouTube, but 11s and 12s can. So I remember like hopping on there, and I managed to actually get onto the Internet Archive and create an account using my school email. And then I remember like having some troubles with it, so I go to the school IT guy, like, so this has been happening, and they said they're like, oh, it's been blocked by he said that by default it's actually blocked by the Department of Education, so you can't actually override the block. And that's when I said they're like, oh, that's weird. I've actually managed to access the Internet Archive, so it's like, weird. That should not be possible. You should not have been able to access it at all. let alone create an account for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that happened. So I remember like once I just got interested in mountain lions. So I basically found like
Mm.
basically every book I could on there. I think I found like 40 different books in terms of just actual reference works on mountain lions.
Right.
And then I just put it in its own like little folder. And I think I've done the same on my actual like personal account as well. Just grab basically everything I can find in terms of reference works on different animals.
Mm.
Because, like you said, it's good to have those references, and you have no clue when they'll come in handy.
Yeah, right. Like they're almost constantly needed, it feels like.
That, and it can like save on money, I guess. Because like
Oh yeah, for sure.
I remember going through, and there's like a good chunk of the library I have of like physical copies of books can actually be found on there, including some older editions of books I currently have, like the Complete
Mm-hmm.
Dinosaur. I have the second edition, and I believe you can find the original edition on there.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah. Although in saying that, like I said, I have the second edition, so it's like, why bother with the original unless I want to make any comparisons?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Fair
Yeah.
point.
Although in saying that, there is also a third edition coming out, but I remember
Uh,
checking around, and it's like I cannot find that third edition. I find stuff online saying that there's a third edition coming out. Heck, I even emailed Thomas Holtz Jr. because
mm,
he's one of the main editors for the book, and he said it was going to
right.
come out. I think he said late 2023, early 2024.
Ooh.
Still not out.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
I remember also
That's
too. There's also, and from what I know, this book's mainly aimed at academics. But I have the Dinosauria, which is considered the standard reference works on dinosaurs. It's an extremely technical book if you haven't checked it out. Um,
I don't think I've even heard of it, which now my interest is piqued.
yeah, I wouldn't really recommend getting it unless you are like a proper like academic person, or you know a lot of that technical language, because it confuses me with some of it. But I remember I think it's the Tyrannosaur Chronicles. If you go to
Mhm.
that book and you flip through to like the further reading and information section, they have a note there saying that a third edition of the Dinosauria is going to be published, and I think they said that it'll probably be published in 2018.
Oh, okay.
2018 goes
Which
by,
is yeah.
2019 goes by, 2020 goes by, 2021, 2022, 2023, and then earlier this year I hear rumors that it was going to come out in 2024. But yeah,
They were actually they were kidding. It was actually 2081.
yeah, because I was gonna say it's like well, according to my clock, it's December 17th, so we only have like what 2 weeks left.
Yep.
So
So
unless they're gonna be like Happy New Year's, here's the new book, that's not happening.
yeah. Oh man.
I remember
Well,
I remember someone
shouldn't have brought up this book because now I got it in my cart.
uh I mean, hey, I've heard people describing it as like the Bible on dinosaurs, but like I said, it's highly technical. It's aimed more at like university type stuff.
Yeah, I'm like reading like little snippets of it, and yeah, it's honestly it's like the type of book that I've been looking for. I just didn't. I don't know how I didn't know this existed.
Uh, one thing I'd say you should do is maybe like go through some of the books you have on animals, because they have like further info and reading sections.
Uh,
That's where I found a lot of my books.
I've done that with a few of these, and that's how I found some extra books. But
Yeah,
none of them have recommended me this one yet, and this one looks fantastic. It's living under a rock.
that's honestly I find that weird because I have quite a few books that either recommend that book or list as further reading, or at least mention it.
Hmm. I'm gonna have to look again. I might be blind, or I just didn't think anything of it.
Like, I think I have at least 2, maybe 3 books that list it. Although most of them usually have the same spiel of like standard reference work on dinosaurs, considered the Bible of dinosaurs. Getting a bit old though. To which,
Right.
it'll still be interesting to check out. I'd take it for you.
Yeah.
Because like I said, not only is it like fairly technical, but I think right, if you look at it, it says it's like nearly 900 pages. From memory, at least like 100 of that is just the references.
Well, that makes sense.
Like, seriously, I remember looking at that, and when I looked at the references, and I just started flicking through, I said, like, this isn't gonna end, is it? And it's all like this very fine, small text. It's a big book. It's like, it's probably like 9 or 10 inches tall. And it weighs like
Wow, that's amazing.
and it weighs like 4.5 pounds.
That's actually like beautiful.
So it's like, yeah, and then the text is like very small. I remember my mom was sat there like, oh, should we get you a magnifying glass? She actually did get me a magnifying glass for it, but I didn't really bother to use the magnifying glass.
Gotta put it to good use.
So as you can see, I've had fun with that. I remember just being sat back thinking like, you know, you see Americans say of how they need like guns and stuff to defend themselves. No, you just need this massive book. Imagine that.
Yeah, just
make sure to get a hardcover copy. Like, imagine an intruder in the night comes in, so they're like, oh, time to take his belongings. Next minute, a book just comes flying at them out the dark.
and completely misses because I don't know how to throw.
No, in my case, yeah, I'd probably miss and then break a window or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's just staring at me like, really, dude?
That just happened.
Really?
Or alternatively, right, you just charge at him using it like a club.
Yeah, there we go. That's more my cup of tea.
Just whack.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, hey, I remember once I tried to get a friend of mine at school with a tennis ball I grabbed from a staff office. So I remember just calling out his name and throwing it at him, and then it bounced off of like one of the support beams for the veranda we were under, and then it nearly hit me in the head.
Oh.
So like,
Yeah,
I remember calling it out. I launched it at him, but it went up too high, hit the support beams. Then it ricocheted back towards me, and I had to duck out of the way as it nearly hit me. And then I think it had like rolled down from where it was and landed near a teacher. To which I just see the teacher grab it, and I'm sort of like, oh no, I'm in trouble. They did not say a thing, they just went and put it back where I found it.
just like live your life discreet up to that point.
It's like, oh no, I'm dead.
Like, this is the end. This is the end. It was a nice run. Nice knowing you.
I mean, I remember having that with one of my friends once at a school assembly where I think I joked of like hacking the school sound system and sticking the song "Illegals in My Yard" on it. To which that's when I then hear one of my friends go out loud, "Illegals in my yard." That's when one of our teachers immediately like slowly turns his head and looks back at us. And I'm just sat there with this look of like, I'm dying today, aren't I? He said like, you boys do understand you're gonna be here a while, right? As we all just sat there
Like,
looking
yeah.
like so they're like, I'm surprised he didn't just kill us. I think Gecko said to me that he could already imagine like the slow creaking noise put over it as he's turning around. Just like,
Right.
boys, what are you doing? But alongside that, I will admit too, like, yeah, I've gotten a reputation at my school as well as being like either the big cat person or the dinosaur person. Like, I remember straight away, like I said, alright, I was looking at books one time at the school on dinosaurs.
Mm.
I pull up some stuff on the Tasmanian tiger. Immediately, straight away, one of my friends goes, "Okay, is it still extinct?" Or like, "Okay, is it actually extinct?" I'm just sat there looking at him like, "I don't know. I haven't researched that yet." Really?
It's like I'll get back to you in like we'll call it like 2 hours.
Just give me like 2 weeks, Microsoft Word, and several books, and I'll get back to you about it with a 2 hour long video. I actually know someone who made like an hour long video on whether or not the thylacines still alive.
That is like a rich topic to dive into.
I couldn't believe it. He said they're like, "Oh, I think it's gonna be 19 minutes long." I think I originally heard him say. Then he says like 30 to 40 minutes. Then the video
It's just
finally releases. He had been working on this since March this year, by the way. The video finally releases. An hour. An hour
That's
long.
amazing.
I'm just being sat there looking like, holy crap, what did you do?
Just produced a movie, really.
Like, seriously, I'm just being sat there looking at this like, you have not made a video. You've not just made a video. You've basically made the video on thylacines to end all thylacine videos. What possessed
He's
you to do this?
You realized that he wasn't the hero we needed, but the one I messed that up. Never mind.
I think too. I remember having one fun experience where I think I said to him of how this is like, what I think the internet dubs autistic levels of detail. That's one thing I've heard, like to describe it. Next minute, what do I hear in response? "Oh, I have actually been diagnosed with autism." I was just being said,
like, yeah.
I remember just going like straight away, "Oh, for the love of Christ, I just had to say it to someone who's autistic." Had a laugh about it. Yeah, that was definitely a moment of all time for me.
Yeah, that sounds like that. That'd be my sort of luck.
Yes, you're making a autistically detailed video. Guess what? I'm actually autistic. Well, I guess it's even more fitting now. Yeah, watch as this shows up in like 10 years' time. Dino Guy and Calvin the Carnotaurus are anti-autism. No, no. Because like I said, the autistic guy laughed at it. I'm now actually like trying to find the thylacine video just so that way I can send it to you. It is not popping up on me for some reason. Where'd it go?
Yeah, I could search for it too. Let me check.
No, it's like a fairly small channel. Because like, there was one that popped up on me that's an hour long, but it's not his.
Right.
So,
There's always a chance.
next minute, it turns out that his content was just stolen by them.
Yeah, that'd be unfortunate.
Because I know someone who I know someone who actually has done videos on like cryptozoology and all that. Next minute, they said of how their content has been like sort of stolen, or at least copied a lot of by this AI generated channel, because of course it has. You just can't win with the internet, can you?
No, you really can't. I mean, like, what's worse is that I think that it all, learns from videos like ours.
That is probably it. It does just learn. It learns.
Like it takes that data and then creates its own videos through those means.
Yeah, which is annoying.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Because, like, I think with one of my videos, I spent like a month working on it. I spent a month working on a lion video.
Mm.
And it's like, yeah, it gets annoying when that doesn't get like too many views, and then some of these people, they put out an AI generated piece of rubbish. Next minute, what do you know? Hundreds of thousands of views.
Right.
It's then one of those things where you also got to ask, who are the people watching this? Besides, you know, probably like toddlers and stuff.
Or other AI.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember that, like sub-botting and all that, where you had people paying for subscribers.
Yeah, yeah. I know that was like the problem at the very least for a little bit of time.
And then you also had people purchasing views as well, and bots for comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed it's sort of. Is it just me, or has that sort of like died down, and it's now just been replaced with AI generated crap?
I think it has. I think you're right on that. I think that AI has certainly become the new thing for that avenue of content creation, the next easy step.
Yep. And I think it's easy to see why. Just, you don't even need to then put in the effort of making the video. You can just outsource to AI.
Yeah, it's easy, Just have something else do it for you entirely.
It reminds me of one thing I think I saw about like political stuff, where it showed like this, like sort of caricature, where it was like this fat guy with very skinny neck and all that, weak,
Hmm.
flimsy arms, and he had an EU shirt on with the caption, We've given up energy independence, so let's give up food independence as well, because that worked so well." Because it seems like you do have a lot of people on both both the level of a country all the way down to just like an individual person saying, "Oh, why should I do that when I can get someone else to?
Right.
Why should I actually work on the video when I can have AI do it?"
Yeah, exactly. I got an easier avenue to take.
See, with your next many interpretations of animals video, you can just have it all AI generated. It will say that Jurassic Park came out in 2009
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
and starred Arnold
And that
Schwarzenegger.
time travel, yeah, yeah, and that time travel was involved, all that good stuff.
I remember watching one AI
Yeah,
I watched one AI generated video. Actually, no, I think Gecko and I, we started screwing around with ChatGPT a year ago. You should have
mm,
heard him. Like, we asked it something about Giganotosaurus. Then it says
mm.
that Giganotosaurus is a close relative of Tyrannosaurus. And you should have heard Gecko. I just remember he highlighted that part. He said they're going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, obviously, they both get mentioned a lot to the point it's like impossible to see the two just mentioned on their own. Without
Yeah,
mentioning the other, right? Like, I think it's safe to say that
and,
Giganotosaurus and T Rex are, it's like the lion versus tiger of paleontology.
yeah,
But that's a new twist on it, that they're close relatives according to AI.
yeah. No, I've never heard that take before.
Only
I
AI
mean,
could cook up
they're even,
such a
yeah, they're
monstrosity.
completely different clades and everything. Got Carnosauria and Coelurosauria. That's like apples and oranges by that point.
Like, I think I saw something saying that they reckon that the split between those two that led to them was like 100 million years ago or something.
Yeah, it was very, very distant.
So it's
Very
like,
distant. Like,
how do you look and say those two are together?
yeah, yeah.
But at the same
That
time,
is
it's like,
interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if to a certain extent it was confused, because you gotta remember too, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's in the same subfamily as well, Giganotosaurinae. You have
Mm,
Tyrannotitan.
yeah.
So I wonder if it got confused, and instead of saying Tyrannosaurus, it actually meant to say Tyrannotitan.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Like I wouldn't be surprised if something like that could get confused for something like that.
And then on top of that, like I said, not just because they both have Tyranno in the name and they sound awesome, but also like I said, Tyrannosaurus and Giga get mentioned a lot alongside each other.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me vibes of, I think it's Godwin's law, where it's like the longer and longer, and this is even an example itself, the longer and longer the conversation drags out for, the higher and higher the chance there is of a direct comparison being made to the Nazis and Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, it seems like every time Giganotosaurus is mentioned, there then has to be a mention of T-Rex.
Yeah.
Or if it's not
Yeah, especially at this point.
Yeah. I think it's mainly
Oh, and also
all the hype.
Yeah. A large part of it, I think, is that anytime anyone mentions a large theropod in general, I think the T-Rex gets mentioned. Like, especially with all of those, like, pop science papers you read, either they'll mention Velociraptor, T-Rex, or Jurassic Park in their headlines. Like, this newly discovered dinosaur is larger than T-Rex. You click on the article and it's a sauropod.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's like, really? You don't say. There were sauropods that were larger than T-Rex?
Yeah. I mean, it's basically like as soon as, well, I remember someone pointing this out, like, even when they discovered Giga and they put it all on display, I think one of the things they said that they had running as its main thing was, like, I think they even had like a banner of this when they put it up on display. It said something like T-Rex has met its match.
Oh.
So it's like they were hyping it up from the beginning. And
yeah, it was inevitable by that point.
And I even did a video on Giga, and in there, right, because most people say of how Giganotosaurus was first discovered in, I think it was 1993 by Ruben Carolini,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Amateur paleontologist. That was the holotype specimen. That was the one that became the actual base like thing for describing the genus. But from there, after that, I think there was a partial tooth found that they reckon is from Giga. But if you've heard anything on like size estimation, you're probably aware of a dentary, like a lower jawbone.
Yeah.
That actually came first. The jawbone was actually found in
Did
the
it?
80s. From memory.
Was it?
Yeah, the jawbone was found in the 80s, but it wasn't
I don't remember that.
described. Well, from memory,
Oh.
it was found, it was sort of forgotten about. Then they found the Giganotosaurus holotype, and then they noticed the similarities, and they said like, huh, this actually looks a lot like Giga. Right, but I remember reading of how that was discovered first, and they said there that when it was found, that there was a comparison made to T-Rex, in that it's a large, it most likely belongs to a large theropod dinosaur comparable in size to T-Rex.
Right.
So I actually found that fairly interesting. Like I said, it seems like that comparison has been hyped up pretty much from the very start, even in that way where it's like sort of unintentional.
Yeah. I think that by that point it becomes inevitable that these guys are gonna always be compared to each other.
It's sort of like as I said, lion versus tiger. It's all, one cannot be mentioned without at least one cannot be talked about with at least another mention of the other.
Right.
Because like with the lion, they might say like the lion is the second largest cat, second only to the tiger. In the case of the tiger, they'll say stuff like, unlike the lion, the tiger hunts alone.
Yeah, you definitely have a point with that one.
Compared to...
That is very much how it works.
Someone just commented in all capitals, Dino Guy.
Hello.
Someone's now just spamming it by the looks of it. Please don't spam it.
Spammy's no fun.
Although in saying that, I think there's oh no, there's 4 people watching this. I think they're a big fan and they're excited. That's fun. That is fun. Good.
It's always awesome.
It's good to see that people enjoy that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like you should have seen it. Like with the first interview I did, it was Gecko, right? And then from there, Gecko and I became like good friends. At the time, I think he only had like 700 to 800 subscribers. I had about 2,000. And then after that, I interviewed a gaming channel called Brutalis Plays, who did content on Path of Titans. Although I think they've since privatized a lot of those videos.
Right.
The guy just commented saying that apparently they're not a big fan, but anyway, right? So I think Brutalis only had like 1,200 subscribers, so I was about comparable in size to him. Then I sat there like, who am I gonna get next? In terms of like someone for the channel to interview. And then I sat there like, I wonder if I could get Red Raptor Rights to come on. So I actually emailed him, and I thought, there's no way he's gonna go with this. Because like I said, I was lucky to have like 2,000, I think it was more like 2,500 when I decided to interview him.
Right. Right.
And he was like 10 times that at the time. So for me, it's like, there's no way he's gonna pick this up. He actually said yes.
Hey.
And I'm sitting like, I could not believe that. And like, I remember one of my friends said, they're like, wait, what? And Gecko was like, I can't believe it. You actually did it. You madman. And then after that, I also interviewed Raptor Chatter, the Vividen, and a couple others. To the point I was
You're just like making your way.
To the point I was just like, holy Christ, I did not think this would be possible. And now, you. Admittedly, I think in terms of like the real large YouTubers, like you're probably the smallest in terms of sub count. But yeah, I didn't think I'd be able to interview those sorts of people. Oh, now they say that they are a fan of Dino Guy. Person the live stream chat.
Hey.
And they also asked, Dino Guy, have you seen the Rex Tooth Studios book?
The Rex Tooth Studios book? I don't believe I have. Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah. I remember also I was interviewed by Wild World. Yeah, I actually sat down for an interview with them. But I was the one being interviewed, not the other way around.
Oh.
And I think they said in a couple videos that they're a fan of you.
Oh yeah, I get comments from them, or from him on a few of my videos. He's a cool dude. I quite like him.
Yeah.
Rex 2 Studios book. I have not seen this, but this looks really cool. I love this art style.
I remember I had a laugh with Wild World on that. I don't think this made it into the final interview cut, but I remember like there's a live stream I did with Lizette and Gecko that we later privatized for various reasons. Just some of the jokes we made, we said like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have that up. But then when I mentioned Lizette on the interview I did with Wild World, he goes like, Lizette, is that the guy from your Lego Jurassic World live stream? And I remember just going, oh, you saw that? Before you just hear me burst out laughing, and I go, oh no! Just, I can't believe that. That was not on my bingo card for him to ask me that. Just, is he the guy from your Lego Jurassic World live stream? Oh, you saw that? I think he joked saying
the beauty of the internet.
I think he joked saying he has to now do a live stream that's like just as cursed. To which the rest said that no, I'm gonna feed Lizette after midnight, and mine's gonna be like 80 times more cursed. In all honesty, I reckon that would be funny. Next minute, it's like you see a completely different side of Wild World come out.
Yeah, right.
This is why his videos are scripted.
Right.
I can imagine that now. Like, yeah. Like I said, we took that live stream down because we said, like, maybe you shouldn't say that stuff. Next minute, you see him just, like, hold my beer.
Right.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I will admit I do like Wild World too. He's a pretty cool person.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his content. That's for sure.
Admittedly, I contacted him beforehand saying I was interested in going on his podcast to talk about big cats in Australia. And I remember, next minute on a lion versus tiger video he did, I see, shout out to Calvin the Carnotaurus. And we're just being like, wait, what? Like, I remember just going like, hey dad, check this out. Shout out to Calvin the Carnotaurus with his video on lions. I'm just like, holy, that just happened?
Like that one Michael Scott meme. Where like, oh, what's happening? Everybody stay calm.
Yeah, I think, and then, you know, with the 100k subscriber thing he did, he shouted out not just you, but also me, which I found surprising.
Yeah. Heck no.
Although
Looks like you make pretty good content overall.
Yeah. I think he said on there that his personal favorite is my lion video, and I said to someone the other day that I want to redo that one at some point. Because, like I said...
What was that?
Lion video. Where I'm interested in redoing that. Because I recently got myself a book called The Lion by big cat expert Craig Packer. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's considered like the world's leading expert on lions. And
okay,
so for me, it's like, I now have possibly like the Bible on lions. And I got it I got it after making my lion video. And not just that, but it was published August last year. So it's actually fairly recent in terms of data. So, might as well.
Hey, you know, that honestly, like we were saying, you can never have too many.
Yeah. Although in saying that, I can imagine it'd be a pain for you, considering, you know, what you said of, like, you'd have to redo a lot of your videos, because there's always updates in media.
Oh, heck yeah.
Like
that is both my blessing and my curse.
Like, I remember recently they had some new, I'm not sure if it would be available for you in the US, but here in Australia they had a drama series to Netflix called La Brea.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've seen the first 2 seasons, but half. Okay, all the first season, half of second season, and I didn't watch. I only watched clips from the third season. The show kind of like lost my interest.
I think I looked it up, and on quite a few like news websites that were reporting on the show, they were giving it a 1 star out of 5.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
I watched like 2 episodes of the first season on Netflix, and yeah, it didn't bother, or haven't really bothered. I'm thinking of continuing on because I am a bit of a completionist. I will say that. But
I think that the first season's pretty good overall.
Like, I remember, like, yeah, I was just sat there watching it, like, I love it. This dude's gonna shoot himself all because he saved a kid from being killed by a wolf.
Jeez, I don't remember that.
Like, seriously, I remember in I think it was the first episode too, right? Like, you have these direwolves, I think, attack the camp, and then this guy saves a teenage boy from getting killed by one of the direwolves by shooting it. And he said, like, I've never killed an animal before. So then he goes off in the woods to go shoot himself because he can't believe he just took an animal's life.
Right,
They end up
right.
stopping him from doing that, but I'm just sat there like, what is it? Admittedly, I think it was from a left. I think this was produced by NBC. So as far as I
Yeah,
know, they're
it
all
was.
on like the anti-gun side, so they're probably gonna be sat there like, oh, this is why you shouldn't have guns. I think my dad called it anti-gun propaganda, but for me, it's like just whether or not it's meant as like a jab at like this is why you shouldn't have guns because they take lives and all that, or whether you see it as like just whatever. I think it's like this is utterly stupid. Like if you can't believe you just took the animal's life to save someone, by the way, maybe you shouldn't have gotten a gun in the first place because I'm pretty sure that's what usually happens if you aim for vital organs on basically any living thing with a gun.
Yeah, usually.
There's a reason why they say to follow the rules of gun safety
Yeah.
rather than being like all the videos you have online of people being stupid with guns.
Yeah, there is an abundance.
Uh, like remember, make sure to know your target, what's behind it. Keep your finger off the trigger until ready to shoot. And then what was it? There's like 4 rules to gun safety, and I can really only remember like 2, at best 3 on a good day. To which that's worrying. Oh yeah, treat every
Like you
gun
should
like
have
it's
those
loaded.
memorized. Yeah, that's certainly one of them.
Yeah, because I will admit I don't mind having guns, so I don't have guns right now, but I wouldn't mind having them. So for me, it's like, yeah, probably should have that all memorized before I have a gun.
Yeah, probably.
Also, be the sort of thing where it's like, do not go to Calvin's house. There's a reason why there's a bullet hole through one of the walls.
There's a reason there's a bullet hole. It's like, oh, okay.
Just welcome to my house. I know this place like the back of my hand. Looks up. Oh, I don't remember doing that. Uh, you gotta love those videos you see sometimes where it's like like I said, just you see people being stupid with guns, and it's like, I'm pretty sure aren't you meant to get a license even in the US when it comes to guns? Oh no, we have very strict gun laws, and then you see people do stupid stuff.
Yeah,
Although,
it's bound to happen.
although in saying that, from what I know, most gun owners are really the case of like, if you fuck around with that gun, I'm going to bash you, sort of mentality. Which is probably the best way to treat any gun. Just
Yeah.
do not mess with it. It gives me vibes of those people you see when they decide, oh, yes, we can go stand next to the American buffalo and pet it. It's a wild animal.
Oh, I know.
It's gonna ram us
Yeah,
and
that always
grind us to a pulp. But we can stand next to it and pat it.
gets me, those videos.
Just, I love one I remember seeing the other day of a Florida man. So it's already gonna be good. Where the guy tried to, by the looks of it, tackle an alligator. Like, how on some, like, alligator catching TV shows, they show them, like, getting around to besides the alligator and, like, tap it on the base of the tail, so now, like, curves back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looked like the guy was trying to do that. Here's the thing, with most of those, like, alligator people you see on TV, when they do that, they're behind the animal, away from the
Mhm.
jaws. This dude was in front of it.
Oh, well, there's your problem.
Like, you see him, like, try and tap it to distract it on one side, so that way, it spins around to focus wherever the tapping was coming from. And
Right.
it, like, sort of starts, like, walking over towards him. This didn't even look like that big of an alligator, by the way. Starts walking over towards him. He stumbles backwards, falls on his ass, and then the thing grabs him around the kneecap and starts shaking. I'm just sitting there looking like, 1, that's extremely painful. 2, maybe don't mess with alligators. Because the other thing too was it was like, it was on like a bridge or something because it was up against one of those roadblocks. So it's like, yeah, The only way it was gonna go, like, it wasn't gonna go backwards away from him. The only way it could really go was forwards.
Right, like
Unless it were, like,
to the
turn around a really long way.
yeah. So it was already set up for failure from the beginning.
I love this. In quotation marks, someone commented, "The last thing that a animal would use to attack is their head." Just ignore.
Classic quote.
Yeah, that amazing one from Jack Horner. Just ignore the fact that rhinos exist and anything that
Yeah, we got
bites.
rhinos, deer, bighorn sheep, goats. Just if we exclude those, then you're right. Okay.
Also, ignore all the predators that use their mouths as a killing weapon.
we don't talk about Bruno. All right.
That's probably one of my favorite quotes of all time now. And then, Triceratops with massive horns.
What was that?
Triceratops with its massive horns.
Oh yeah, no, those weren't used for anything. Those were just yeah, they weren't used for anything.
They're just to show when the males were horny because they'd be brightly coloured. When he sees
no.
When he sees the female, they get brightly coloured.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's definitely not an image you need.
No.
It's like what I said to you. It's like what I said to you earlier about life on our planet. Just like, why am I looking at bugs doing mating dances when I could be watching dinosaurs hunt each other?
Right.
Like, if I want to watch bugs trying to get themselves girlfriends, I'll go watch something else.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. But, like, if I want to watch big cats, well, obviously I'm going to watch a big cat documentary.
Yeah.
Rather than, I don't know, something paleontological. Unless it's something on saber-tooths.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Because even though I don't think for some people they consider big saber-tooths to be big cats, it's like, well, last time I checked, those things were getting up to lion size or larger, so I'm counting it.
Yeah, they're pretty big cats.
But I've read something on Twitter saying Smilodon could apparently get up to 436 kilos for a Smilodon populator.
No.
436 kilos. That's like somewhere around like 950 to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. It's let me verify it.
Converter.
Yeah. 960. That's it's a big cat. That's a very big cat, I'd say.
I came across a video of supposed 1,000-pound lions, but those were captive, and the guy described it as, alright, because this was this guy's cats, and he said, I think, neutered right away, dewormed their entire life, and have never been told no in terms of what they could eat. So it's like,
That's
like, I'm pretty sure they cut the testicles off of bulls to get them to grow larger in size for meat production. So yeah, that would have helped when it comes to the growth, just taking off these poor lions' balls. But then also,
yeah.
he did say that they are fat, and you could tell from the video these things were just fat. Just big, fat things. So it's like they might get an increase in size. It might get an increase in size, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd still it'd still be one of those things where it's like if they step on the scales that say get off.
Right.
I remember actually weighing someone at my school once. Where it's like I think the scales said 120 kilos, in case you're wondering. That was the max they went up to. I stepped on there, it said 88 at the time. I think our PE teacher stepped on and it said 90. Although I should note, he's like 6 inches taller than me, so, he's just going to be larger than default. Meanwhile, I'm just fat. But then this other kid who's younger than me, about the same height as me, he works out a lot. He steps on the scales and they actually spin right around back to 0. I remember
It doesn't sound.
immediately, like, a good chunk of it is just muscle, to the point I was just said that, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on steroids or something.
Yeah.
It's like, that gave me a laugh when I saw that. It's like, I don't want to be rude, but I was like, you fat bastard. As I just see the scales spin around, right? Goes from 0 to, like, 70 kilos, 80 kilos, 90 kilos, 100, 110, 115, back to 0. Someone thought it was I remember telling, like, one of his friends about it, and they went like, "Oh, what did they say? Error?" And I was like, "No, it's not a digital scale, so it just went back to 0." But when saying that, he can move surprisingly fast for a 120 kilo person. That's like, I think that's like 264 pounds. In case you're wondering.
Yeah.
The main person that's been commenting in the live stream chat now, they also just said, "I like to make dinosaur drawings that look accurate."
Sweet.
I wonder, do you have like any? If you're still there watching us, do you have like any social media or something where you can show this off? Has he posted like any of it? Oh, he's got a
Yeah, I
community
wouldn't mind
tab.
checking it out.
He's got a community tab. I love how you mentioned Land Before Time earlier, and I just scroll through, and well, he's got a Land Before Time DVD.
Oh snap! It's listening.
He's spying on you. He lives in your walls.
Yeah. Always watching.
Yep, that sounds about right. Who needs the government spying on you when you have random people? Anyway, I think that's about it where we can end it in terms of this live stream. It's nice having you on there. On here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Jeez. Sorry. I don't know what happened. But yeah, that's.
Yeah, it was nice having you on and talking to you. Definitely a cool person. It's nice.
Yeah, man.
It's nice to see another person who's really into books as well, compared to Gecko, who's just said they're like, for the love of Christ, my man, do you spend money on anything else besides books?
It's like, no. Is there anything else to spend money on?
Wait, other things exist besides books?
Yeah. Yes, on that note, thank you for the new book recommendations that are now in my cart.
In all honesty, now it's like I'm thinking that maybe you should do something like going over all the books you have in terms of wildlife and dinosaurs.
I probably should. I've gotten those recommended a few times, and I probably should pull that trigger.
I think I should do that as well. Just all of us, both you and me, both do videos going over our book collections. I can already imagine.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't know why, but in all honesty, I was sort of imagining it to actually be the case of like you having like maybe a couple dozen at best. And I'm gonna be sat here like I have this. You just said like, what is wrong with you? But no, another bookworm with like 150 books.
Yeah, man. It's a necessity.
And Gecko's just said they're like, Jesus Christ, there's 2 of them. Anyway, considering I reckon it'd be getting late for you in the US, I think, like I said, probably best.
Yeah, almost my bedtime.
Oh, hope you have a good day or good night, and can't wait to see whatever you put out next in the way of content. Like, possible next video being on books. Ugh. And I hope everyone who ended up joining in for this live stream also enjoyed hearing me talk with Dino Guy. There should, if I remember correctly, be a link to his channel in the description of this video. Yep, there is. And if not, well, he's tagged in the title, so you can just click the blue text.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, I'll just end the stream now, and you can head off. Goodbye.
All right, man.